that is the biggest gift you can give your child, is to listen and let them know you really heard what they said to you and you are going to offer them some type of help or assistance.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Parent Corner channel, where a licensed child psychotherapist answers all of your biggest questions you have dealing with all areas of parenting. Meet Teresa Brown, who is the owner of one of the premier attachment and trauma centers in the nation and is responsible for a lot of the gems on this channel. I'm Garrett, her son, who was able to convince her to let these gems out and put the content out for everybody, including yourself. Today, we're talking about top 5 toddler tips. I love a list myself, and she's come up with a really good one, so we're going to break it down and start with number 1.
So toddlers are tough. Let's go ahead and acknowledge that. Toddlers are tough.
Can I cry?
No.
So you just want to cry by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm going to cry, so.
No.
Yeah, I am.
And this is a question we get a lot. I think one thing that parents don't think about as much as they should is the physical needs that children have. So children, we have to make sure they have enough water, that they're not dehydrated. We have to make sure that they have enough protein and that their blood sugar is not dropping, causing their mood to also drop. We have to also be sure that they've had enough sleep, and quality sleep at that, because if they're not sleeping well, then you're not going to have a very happy child or calm, regulated child. I don't know about you, but if I don't sleep good, I get mighty grumpy. So keep in mind that although your child is a child, they are impacted by some of the same things that you are. And last but not least, always consider that there's a possibility that they may be getting sick. If you notice that your child is not themselves, that is one of the things that I think a lot of parents don't really realize. Even though they're little, they have a lot of needs to have these things taken care of first and foremost. That will cause the whole domino effect to happen for a child. They don't feel well physically, and then it doesn't take much to cause them to get really upset really quickly.
Yeah, I get grumpy without my coffee in the mornings. I don't know if it's the same, but it's probably very close. So
it's close.
Definitely good. What do you think is the number 2 tip?
You know, when you're in the middle of parenting, it's like you're in the middle of the forest. You don't see the trees. So one of the things we advise parents is catch behaviors low or early. And pay attention to your own child. You're the expert on your child. Notice little things that they do that tell you that they're starting to either get frustrated or they're not handling their feelings at that point as well, or something's not quite right. They may need a break. They may need an opportunity to just quiet themselves down. Maybe there's been a lot going on that morning. And so you always want to try to catch a behavior low. Kids have all kinds of little things they do that let you know that things are not going quite right. Maybe you just need to pull them over in your lap and have some connection time. Give them a hug, read them a book, let them just have a moment to kind of get their nervous system reset. Toddlers are not yet able to regulate themselves, which means that you as the parent have to be the co-regulator. So when your thermostat is going up, their thermostat is going to go up also. The more stressed out you are, the more stressed out they're going to be. The more calm and regulated you are, the more calm and regulated they're going to be. So that leads us to number 3, co-regulation. When infants are first born, they have no regulation ability at all. They cry, you go pick them up. And as they get a little bit older, they are depending on their caregivers to help them to regulate their system. If you're having a rough morning, more than likely your children are going to have a rough morning too. Our cells actually communicate with each other. Yep, that's right. People have their cells communicate with other people. Have you ever walked in a room and people said, oh my gosh, you could feel the tension in the room? That's your cells communicating with other people. So when you are the co-regulator for your child, you want to remind yourself, if you're having a hard morning, they're going to have a hard morning. You're going to have hard mornings. That's okay. You're human. Give yourself a break. But understand that if you can do some little things to help yourself get back into a regulated state, that also is going to help your child too.
And everything that she is going over, we will link in the description with an outline and put a lot of resources to go over all this information. But let's go ahead and continue on to number 4.
Number 4 is overstimulation. Toddlers can be overstimulated easily. Have there been a lot of new experiences that day? Lots of lights, lots of noise, maybe lots of crowds of people, things they're not used to. All of that is going to cause their nervous system to be in a heightened state. Sort of think of it like a tea kettle. So as their nervous system is building through all these new experiences and loud noises and lights and things they're not used to, it's going to have a moment when, just as a tea kettle has to let some steam go, their nervous system has to blow and they go into this complete meltdown. That allows their nervous system to reset. But we can try to prevent that. Although I will be honest with you, it may not always be possible. But if you try some of these steps and some of these tips to be able to help their child, help their nervous system reset when they're going through this time period, it's not as likely to happen that they have the big blow or the big meltdown. So we recommend that when you've got a lot going on with a toddler, you take times to meet their physical needs, have some quiet reconnection time, actually kind of step away from whatever you're in that moment and let them kind of know that you're with them, they're okay. They're constantly looking to you for reassurance. If you're okay, then they're going to be okay. You've got to allow the idea that a child can have a different temperament for you. You may be a person who loves all these loud noises and all these things, but your child may not have that temperament. Always include that in what you're considering when you're planning activities for your toddler.
And you see that a lot in like zoos or parks or something like that, right?
I have seen so many families at the end of the day as they're trying to leave, a park or a zoo or something where they've had a long day, and they're just got 3 or 4 babies just crying and crying. Mm-hmm. And my heart goes out to all of them because I know what's happened. Everybody's exhausted and the parents have nothing left. Maybe you don't want to plan so much. Maybe you don't want to over plan and have a better experience by doing less. With toddlers, less is more. That's probably something you always want to remember.
I want to cry after I leave the heat all day as well, too. So I can totally understand their feeling. And then last but not least, we're talking about number 5.
So number 5 may be kind of a surprise, but it's talking about feelings with your toddler. And most people would go, talking about feelings with a toddler? But what we want to do is start introducing words for what they're feeling. Because if we don't introduce the words to them, then how are they going to be able to communicate as they mature and get older about their feelings with us? So we want to talk about feelings and how that feelings are not bad, they're not good, they're just feelings. They come and go just like ocean waves. So when you notice your child is having a certain feeling, maybe looking like they're getting frustrated, you can say, oh, wow, it looks like you're really getting frustrated. Why don't you let mommy help you with that? Well, we also know toddlers don't ever want help. So you can just say to them, you can ask for help whenever you need it. You can always ask for help. I'm here if you want some help. Sometimes they have to go through the whole cycle of not being able to do it, being upset, and then allowing you to reconnect with them, give them a hug, and then allow you to help them. But the biggest thing is naming what they're feeling. If you notice they're feeling really proud of themselves, then use that term too. It's not about naming feelings in a way where we're going to have a facial expression that's kind of like, oh, well, you're in a bad mood, that kind of thing. Feelings are normal. If we can normalize feelings for our children and help them understand we love them no matter what big feeling they're having, then they're not going to have as much shame and they're going to be able to talk about their feelings better. One of the things we've learned with families here is parents rarely talk about feelings when they first come to us with their children, especially little children, because they think toddlers have no clue about what's going on with feelings. But guess what? They're feeling these, and we call them yucky feelings here. They're feeling some of these yucky feelings sometimes with a feeling that's causing them to feel like they can't master something. But then they're also feeling some other feelings that have a more positive feeling in their body when they're proud of themselves or they're really happy or they're feeling loved or connected. Talking about feelings with your child and helping them to understand that feelings are okay. It's not a bad thing to have any of these feelings. And here are some ways for me to help you with those feelings is a really, really big gift you can give to your child. The other thing we want them to understand is if they can talk to you about feelings, then they're going to be able to talk to you about other things as time goes on. If we make things not taboo or not that we don't talk about that, then your child is going to feel heard and they're going to feel like you listen to them. And when they come to you with something, you respond. And so that is the biggest gift you can give your child is to listen and let them know you really heard what they said to you and you are going to offer them some type of help or assistance. That's what you're there for, to guide them as they learn to navigate taking care of all their big feelings.
Well, that has it. The top 5 toddler tips we have. I love a good YouTube list, as I'm sure everybody else does. A lot of great resources will be in the description, as I mentioned before. Please like and subscribe to the channel because we are just getting it growing as well. Please comment to any questions you may have that you may want a video topic about or just anything in general, and we'll be able to get to them best we can. And until next time, thanks for tuning into the Parent Corner channel.